everybody, Fawn here. Today I am going to be doing a demo tutorial of sorts for this look that I've got. The products that I'm going to be using are by the Mark line from Avon. The Mark line is more of a younger, trendier line of products from Avon. This is the finished product that I'm going to do a little tutorial demo of. So let's get to it. I'm back. Now let's get this tutorial started. I've already prepped and primed my face with my favorite moisturizer and primer. You guys can use whatever you want. If I don't have any Avon foundation, so I'm just going to use my favorite foundation. It's just one that I got at Ulta. But I am going to try my best to use brushes that you guys can get from Avon or Mark. I apply my foundation with a regular flat foundation brush. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Mark has got a foundation brush. Looks like it's $18. Looks very similar to this. It's just your usual flat foundation brush. And then I'm just gonna, in circular motions, buff it onto my face. Now I'm going to use my favorite concealer that I'm using right now. This is my daughter in the background. I made her promise to be good and quiet. If you're oily, definitely going to want to make sure that you set your powder, set your foundation with some powder. I'm just going to use this e.l.f. complexion brush, which would be the equivalent, it looks like, of the powder brush that Mark has for $18. So yeah, I tend to just kind of stamp it on because you don't really want to do a lot of like brushing, honestly, because that could move your foundation around. Next, I'm moving on to the Mark Touch and Glow Shimmer Cream Cubes All Over Face Palette. And this is the color Coral Glow. It's beautiful. You can use these down here to get a little bit more color. And if you like highlighter, go into these up here on the top of the cheekbone, which is what I'm going to do today. For application, I'm going to use my e.l.f. small stipple brush, which I find is good for cream products. Mark has got a stippling brush for $16. And oh yeah, see, that picks up product real nice. With a stippling brush, you don't really want to like, it's not like a regular brush where you're just going to like go to town with it. You really want to just kind of, you know, you're stippling. I don't know if any of you do art, but you're just kind of stippling. It's a very, very light touch, you know, just barely using the tip of the bristles to get, so I'm going to go into these lighter colors, maybe over in here. I'm just gonna go a little bit on my top of my cheek. I'm just gonna kind of, this is definitely gonna give you a very natural glow on the top of your cheekbones. And we'll bring it up into here a little bit. Actually, I'm really liking it with this brush. Yeah, yes, this is giving a very, very nice natural glow. And I'm going to kind of go down the bridge of my nose just a little bit and up into here. If you don't use a primer on your face, that's fine. Some people don't have a problem with their foundation moving around. Normally, I don't use a primer. I am going to highly recommend that you try and get yourself an eye primer. It can make all the difference in the world for your eye makeup not moving. I honestly am not sure if Mark and Avon make one. If they do, give theirs a try. A lot of them are very similar. I'm using the NYX HD. It's called NYX HD eyeshadow base, and it's seriously like $4 at Ulta. I think you can get it at Target too. It's really a good product, really kind of cheap, and Just put a little dab on, a little dab will do you, a little dab on each eyelid, and then just use your finger to just kind of move it around. Make sure you go all the way up to your brow bone. I think that if you've never used an eyeshadow primer, giving one a try, I think you will be amazed. I never used to use an eyeshadow primer, and when I finally took that step to actually using an eyeshadow primer, I was blown away. Get into the eyes. We are using the Mark Eye Contact Hook Up Shadows in Skinny Dip, which is a really, I chose a really neutral palette. I'm just going to do a very simple look. I think this is kind of more of a like going to work kind of a look. So I am going to go into this shade right here, which is really light, and I'm going to use just a flat eyeshadow brush. Mark looks like they have a all over eyeshadow brush that's very similar to these Real Techniques brushes that I'm going to try and use. Honestly, this brush right here I reserve just for doing this. There doesn't have to be any kind of, you don't have to take a lot of care with this. It's like setting your eyeshadow primer. Wherever you first touch the brush, that's where the majority of the product is gonna go. But doing this, setting it, definitely helps with that. I'm gonna try and do a look that both women with regular eyes and also hooded eyes can do. It's just a very simple like 2 shadow look, maybe 3, depending on how you're feeling. I'm gonna take this color right here, and I am going to pack that all over my lid. And I'm just going to pat it all over the mobile lid. And if you have hooded eyes, this kind of might help you a little bit. So what I'm just doing is I'm just packing this color on. Now look, see when I close my eyes, you can see it. But when I open my eyes, it's pretty much disappeared. So there you go with the hooded eyes. I'm packing on, and I'm just using this all over shadow brush, and you're just gonna slowly bring it up. Keeping that rounded shape, let the brush do the work. So we're starting to be able to see the shadow. Now at this point, you don't want to go up too high, because once you do a little bit of blending, it's going to take it up a little bit further. Now I'm taking my Real Techniques brush, which I feel will be a very close approximation to the angled eyeshadow brush by Mark, which is around $12. And I think I'm going to go into this color first. I may bring in some of this color. We'll see how it works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap my brush in. I hope I can do this. Tap my brush in. Kind of tap it off, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it upside down, okay? And I'm going to put this right here. By placing the brush right here in the corner, that's where most of the product is going to go. So we're going to just kind of lightly, remember, you hold the brush further out, you're going to get a much lighter stroke, and you're just going to like place it. You've already kind of got a little bit of a cat eye thing going, and you're just going to very lightly sweep it in. Now what that's going to do is that's going to blend the hard edge of the dome that we originally made, or of the, the domed shadow that we made, and then that's going to help. That's also going to get the product, this darker color, in the crease. It's easier to add color than it is to take it off. And people with hooded eyes definitely can have a problem with, there's loose skin, so definitely a light hand helps. Sometimes you can get a little bit of skipping, not because the product is bad, but because our skin is loose. There's nothing wrong with having hooded eyes. And I'm going to take this color now, and I am just going to tap ever so lightly. One little tap, and then tap it off. And I am going to put this darker color right here at the inner, or not the inner, I'm going to put this right on the outer third of my eye. Okay, and I can come up onto the hood a little bit. Okay, see that I just added a little bit of depth compared to this one. Don't worry, we're going to blend. Blending is something that so few people understand. And honestly, I hate blending. But it has to be done, or your makeup's your eyeshadow can look kind of
ratchet.
That is not a word I like, because you know what a ratchet is? A ratchet is one of those things that you use to put bolts on with. Okay, so see, a little bit more depth there in the corner. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. My instinct is to put some more on, but go against that instinct, because you can always add more later. Then I'm going to go back to this brush, the angled one, and just kind of work it in. Blend it. If you're not careful, this kind of look could go from office to night out on the town real quick. So definitely be careful with that. Mark has got a dual-ended eyeliner and smudge brush. So this is just a little smudger brush, and it looks like that Mark has got one. So I'm gonna go into this color right here, and I'm just gonna kind of dab in there, tap it off, and I'm going to very, very, very gently just kind of smudge along the lower lash line. Okay. And then I'm very lightly going to go into this color right here, right on the tip of my brush. And I'm just going to really lightly, I don't like shimmer on my brow, because people with hooded eyes, you want to use the dark color to recede as opposed to putting a shimmer on it. A lot of times, people with hooded eyes really need to steer clear of shimmer. But there is a place for shimmer, and I'm going to show you that so that maybe we can kick this look up to something in the evening very, very easily with the same little palette. So I'm just going to use this. This one's more of a satin, looks like more of a satin finish. You can use matte. If you want to use a shimmer, that's fine. Just really make sure you're just getting right under the brow and not coming down on the hood at all. Avoid that hood. They have different eyeliners. I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of people, if you're the kind of person that wants to add a color on the bottom line on the inside, it's called your waterline. Okay, a darker color definitely be used for an evening-like look. For the office, I find definitely that a lighter pencil in there just kind of it's not a lot. And, you know, be careful not to pull on your eyes or poke yourself in the eyes. This isn't a necessity. If that kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies to, you know, put something that close to your eye, don't do it. There we go. A lighter pencil tends to open your eyes up more and make you look more awake, fresh-faced. which I think we all know we need in the morning. And a lot of times also, people with hooded eyes, since they don't have a lot of hood space, I don't use an eyeliner on my upper lash line because that's like expensive territory up there. I need that for other things. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to kind of add a little bit more, and we'll kind of amp up the drama a little bit more. I'm going to take my little smudgy brush, and I'm going to go into this color here a little bit more. And I am just going to I'm going to add more onto my lower lash line, so it's a little bit darker down there, okay? And then I'm very carefully going to follow the lash line up and add a little bit more depth in here. Okay, see, it's a little bit, it's not crazy, but it's just a little bit more. If you're scared of dark colors, you know, like black scares me. I'm gonna be honest, it does. Okay, it scares me. Start with dark browns. You know, that's what this is. This is not black. This is a dark brown. It's a dark, like, you know, real nice, pretty dark brown color. Got a lot of depth to it, so it can definitely help your eyes, give you that color, but without you know, getting to that black. I'm gonna kind of just go around in circles with it, just to kind of buff out that corner a little bit. You know, you guys don't have to go this dramatic if you're not comfortable. You stick with whatever colors you want. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of something extra, and we're just gonna use our fingers, okay? So I'm gonna go into this bright shade right here, or this, it's more shimmery, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of rub my pinky in it because I have really small eyes, and I'm just gonna very, very lightly dab it just on the inner 2/3 of my eye. There, very, very lightly. And that's just gonna give, now this is the kind of technique that a person that has hooded eyes can use shimmer. And you add the shimmer right here on the inner portion. Try not to get it too far up. And then, you know, you might want to bring it in here just for a little bit of, because these caverns in here of your eye. Okay, there, see? We start off with the day kind of look over here, and I kind of made it a little bit more dramatic, and then I just added a little bit more shimmer over there so you can kind of see the difference between them. This is my preferred method of adding shimmer, okay? I kind of need to do a little bit of blend out this a little bit. Okay. Got a little bit too much of a line there. And then kind of put a little bit right there. There. I need to do a little something with these brows. Y'all do your brows however you want. Here, I don't know if y'all have heard the little saying. Some people are okay with it, others are not. They are sisters, not twins. There are a lot of people out there who are like, no, they must look exactly the same. None of us are exactly symmetrical, okay? That's just life. All right, now, this is a cool product. We're gonna use the Mark Lash Act Build and Define Mascara. Now, I'm gonna try to show you guys this. Okay, so here is what it looks like. Okay, then it's got a little turny thing down here, and if you turn it, it squishes the brush down. This would give you volume. This would give you length. So I'm going to try to stay in frame. And I'm going to try not to make some crazy funky ass faces. Oh, see here? You want to really try to get at the base of the lash. Wiggle. And sweep up. And if you can, have the dexterity to twist it as you pull it up. That will help as well. I've got the Mark All Butter Now. Haha, like get it. Okay, All Butter Now Lip Treat in the color Terre Haute. Okay. So, there go. And it's not your normal, it's more of balm type as opposed to your normal bullet. It has a nice scent. It's not real overpowering, but it's there. More of a balmy kind of lip product. It's not going to be long wearing. It's definitely going to be something you're going to need to reapply several times during the day. But I just wanted something that was kind of a little corally to go with the blush, but it's still very pinky still and fresh. Yeah, it's a nice lip balm. Now I am going to, this is my DIY setting spray. Love me some setting spray. If you don't use setting spray, you need to try it. I can't get enough of it. Now that I'm all done with the look, I'm going to go do my hair off camera, and then I'll be back. I'm back. Here's the final look after doing my hair. It's a few hours later because I hope things haven't faded too much because I had some technical difficulties with my camera, and so that made me have to wait a few hours before filming this like little finish up thing. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this demo. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and remember to check out my YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Bye.